We launched two sort of significant new models this year, the Sidewinder series as well as the VK540. And so two completely different customers, but two needs that we had in our lineup that were very well received by our dealerships. The new Sidewinder has just a copious amount of horsepower, and it's something that really kind of gave a boost of energy to our dealer body. So we're really excited to get this Sidewinder on the snow. Well, I mean, we're saying that it has about 180 horsepower. Some people have found that it has even more than that. That's what our baseline on its worst day it can do is 180 horsepower. But it is certainly a really unique and innovative engine. It has triple throttle bodies, which is an industry first, but also almost an automotive first. There's pretty much no other turbo kit anywhere like it. And the whole goal of it was to have no lag. So when a snowmobiler hit the gas, it was that we wanted a turbo that had all the benefits of a turbo in terms of increased power, but there was absolutely no lag, and when the snowmobiler hit the throttle, that it just took off like a shot. And our engineers, being what they are, they were able to achieve that. So it was a very sort of promising development when we were able to get our leg over it and give it a first hit and see how it worked out. And then, of course, as time went on, we released it to the public, and it was a great response. The key thing, I think, for us was that we launched it in, I believe, 6 different segments. So RTX, LTX, STX, XTX, BTX, and MTX. So across all platforms, this wasn't just one customer niche that we were going for. We launched it a whole new class of snowmobiles with Sidewinders. So it was a really key for us that we got our dealerships all across the country the snowmobiles they needed. So we have 129, 137, 141, I believe a 146, and then a 162. There's no 153 this year in the mountains. But basically, we're seeing a lot of riders kind of obviously there's trail riders, but also there's the new crossover element as well to go along with the mountains. So we just want to provide options for any type of rider that we have a snowmobile that's built just for them. And the new BTX series is actually something that's a response to that. We're seeing a lot of mountain snowmobile sales on the eastern half of the country, but what would happen is the snowmobilers who were buying these mountain sleds, they wanted the extra track length and the wider skis, but they would buy this snowmobile and then have to recalibrate the gearing and everything for low-level application. So we basically took a mountain sled, but then changed the gearing in the engine, and that's what the BTX series is. It's called the backcountry snowmobile. So these are for these places in the East Coast and Quebec, some of Northern Ontario too, that really sort of need this sled. They want the look and the feel and the function of the mountain sled, but had to kind of do some after-purchase modifications. So now we've just given them the sled they want right out of the box. With the mountain application, that new engine is so powerful, with obviously an ability to make it even more powerful aftermarket. But the key thing there is that there is such a high power to weight ratio now that it mitigates any sort of weight issues, but yet maintains the durability and the reliability of a 4-stroke engine in the mountains. And as I mentioned before, the lag has now been severely reduced from a typical turbo application. This engine practically has no lag, and the elevation is no longer an issue in terms of a normally aspirated engine, where elevation would play a role. With this turbo now being a 4-stroke, that 180 horsepower or 200 horsepower is at 0 elevation is the same as at 10,000 feet. So there's very little loss in terms of elevation. So we are confident that this application and this Sidewinder MTX is going to get a few mountain snowmobilers turning their heads and looking our way now just to see what it is and how good it works in the mountains. The RTX series is the shortest version that we make out of 129. It's basically built for those who are really aggressive trail riders, the ones who are sort of putting in the good time on the laps and making sure they come across late in the day on a Sunday afternoon or something when the trails have been pretty beat up. They've got what they need to kind of continue to put down a fast run, but more or less it's just a performance snowmobile for the trails. So that's kind of the main application for that. LTX is something with a little longer track, a 137, helps bridge some of those bumps, handles very well. LTX is pretty much one of our high volume models that our customers are seeming to be the preferred sled for them all. 141, that would be more the XTX versions. That's more of a crossover sled. A little extra footprint so that it's a little bit better in the deep snow. The STX DX versions are more of an off-trail touring. They come with bags and a higher windshield if you're going to put on some big kilometers, and then of course we get into the mountains after that. So a lot of key models. Like you said, we wanted to make sure that we were well represented across the board with a completely new class of snowmobiles.